Plastics Motivational Hour. Today we've got our co-host Thunder White Cloud, who is our in-house nuclear transformational. What do you call it? What do you call it, Thunder? Quantum physicist. There we go. Twist died. And our guest today is Cheryl, and Cheryl's last name is Cheryl Davis, and she's an author and a permaculturist. So we're going to learn about her book and her permaculture, which sounds like a hairdo. I'm not sure what that is. What is a permaculturist? I'm sorry?
That's permaculture.
Permaculture, okay. So what is a permaculturalist? Tell us about that.
So permaculture is the science of assembling beneficial relationships. So basically, it's a design system for sustainable living. And it's setting your land up in a way that every element in the land helps take care of other elements. So everything has more than one function. Basically, you're maximizing the yield that your land can produce for you and returning the surplus to the earth.
And how many acres are you permaculturing?
Well, I have been on 25. But we do, I work for a company called Symbiosis Regenerative Systems, and their website is symbiosispx.com. And we've been traveling all around Central Texas doing permaculture designs and installations for people some have just, acquired some land. Some have had the land for a while and want to turn it into sort of a heritage, land and property and pass it down to their grandkids and just grow as much food on it as possible and preserve the land, take care of it, and promote regeneration.
What's a typical crop?
Well, we like to do perennials. So we like to plant a lot of fruit trees, and we'll go in and do earthworks. We'll look at a topo map of the property and figure out how much rainwater that they have going through their year on average, and then we'll go in with a laser level and figure out where berms and swales where the earthworks need to be in order to catch as much rainwater as possible. What that does is it slows down erosion. It catches the rain and it sinks it into the ground, and it restores the land, and it also recharges the aquifers underneath. So then we go in and plant fruit trees on top of the berms and near the swales, and so they get sort of a residual, long-lasting water, from big rain events. And it's a symbiotic relationship.
So I know if you plant the same crop over and over again, you deplete the nutrients, correct, in the soil?
Right. So we don't do monocropping. We take a few varieties, depending on how many acres we're dealing with. We'll take several different varieties of different fruits that will do well here, and we'll alternate them. So, for example, if you plant, a whole bunch of apple trees of the same variety, and then you get a pest that will take down one of those apple trees, it will spread to the next one and the next one and the next one. So what we do is we change it up. So we'll do like an apple tree, and then we'll do a pear tree and a plum tree, and then maybe another apple tree after that. So we do sort of patterning like that, so that if you do get a pest, it won't take out your whole orchard.
But I think you have to be careful not to plant them too close, because I've had trees that cross-pollinated, and the fruits can cross each other if they're planted too close to each other.
Yeah, we have a pretty good formula for layout and how big trees are going to get. You got to plan for what they're going to look like when they're full grown. So some trees we want to give like a 15 to 20 foot radius, and definitely larger trees like walnuts and pecans, you want to give more space.
And how did you learn this? Did you learn it in college?
No, I actually majored in advertising and at UT, and then everywhere I looked was like corporate job. I felt like, man, I don't want to be part of the problem and advertising, just stuff that people don't need or don't want or can't afford. So I was looking for, alternatives. And after my children were born, we got little twin boys, Megan and Solon. And after they were born, I decided that I needed to do something that meant more to me and to, a gift for the next generation. And so I went into permaculture. I went and got my permaculture certification to teach. And so with that, I've been doing it for 2.5 years. And so I'm taking what I'm learning and translating it into children's books on environmental sustainability and permaculture. And so I feel like the biggest drop.
Well, that's a good segue. That's a good segue into you wrote a book, correct?
I did. I wrote a book. It's actually the first in a series about environmental issues that are, and I want the next generation to have, a solutions guide for this enormous problem that they're going to inherit. They need to know how to take care of their earth and to, sort of reverse some of the changes that are happening right now. So I wrote a book about deforestation and habitat loss and provided a solution for reforestation or afforestation, and it really is meant to empower children to step into their inner superheroes and just embrace that and, provide a tangible model of environmental superhero that they can actually become. So the book is called The Mystical, Magical, Abracadabrical, Daniel McDougall, McDouglas, McFly. It was illustrated by Eric Summers, and I was endorsed by the Jane Goodall Institute in Nepal, and they're doing work with habitat loss for wild tigers and river dolphins. So I'm pretty excited about that, very honored. And I recently won 2 Purple Dragonfly Book Awards for children's environmental picture books. So I'm pretty excited. My publisher, shout out to Charlotte Pierce, thank you. She's super awesome.
Now, were you able to fit that title into a website address?
Yeah, my website is kidinakilt.com. So the little boy in the book wears a kilt, and for no other reason than just because.
Okay, well, boys should wear kilts, It's very, very manly.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all written in rhyming couplets, and I've written the next book about cleaning up the oceans and the waterways, and it hasn't been published yet, but hopefully next year. So I'm pretty excited about that coming out, and just looking for the big issues in the world to tackle and to provide solutions manuals for children.
Now tell me how Thunder's been an influence on you.
Thunder, wow. Well, I met Thunder through Nathan. I believe he just had a podcast yesterday with you guys. So, any friend of Nathan is a friend of mine, and I've, been following Nathan, learning about medicinal for a while now. And, when he brought Thunder on, told me about some of the things he was doing that sounded really interesting and sort of into that sort of esoteric kind of stuff and biodynamics and, let's network and figure out what we can do and how we can change the world.
And it so fits. I mean, she's into, as a farm kid from Iowa growing up, and then writing a children's book about educating kids about the environment. For me, that's, you're talking shop. That's these old topics that I
Thunder.
Right in my genre of the education that we're trying to get out there to, the message that we're bringing to the world in a fantastic way.
And Thunder, you should be putting your holograms on these books.
I'm sorry, Marty?
You should be putting your holograms on her books.
Yeah.
Hey, now that's why we got him on here. He comes up with all the wonderful ideas. That is a terrific idea.
Of course. Right here.
Let's put an environmental hologram in every one of your books, courtesy of Lydium Labs. Count that done.
Oh, I'm down for that. Thanks.
Too. Awesome idea. We will donate as many books as go out. Are you kidding me? I love this. Absolutely.
Well, that's why I get the big
Count
bucks.
that down.
That's why I get the big bucks.
Also, all the books are printed on forestry certified paper, so I make sure that happens. So for every tree that they take, run through the printing press, they replace.
Thanks, guys.
And maybe day to replace 2. But for the time being, I've planted thousands of trees. So I think I've got that caught up, at least for the moment.
Thank you. Thanks.
Fantastic. Wow. Definitely the right kind of education that our kids need today that is lacking. I'm not sure what Dick and Jane were doing up on top of the hill, but what they really needed to do is learn that the quality of water that they went and got was not that, quality of water. So I love, hearing what you did with your book to educate kids. Not just teach them to learn, or not just teach them to read, but to let it grasp in that they carry them, from an early age. I was taught things at an early age that I carry with me today. So, kudos to you, big time.
And that's why the Be Fantastic movement, I love when I teach the teachers, the therapists, the counselors, about the positive thinking of being fantastic. It's such a positive influence, and people are really understanding it, and no one's being introduced to being nice and being kind and opening doors and letting people in traffic and thinking positive.
Yeah.
And the Be Fantastic movement is really resonating with a lot of people. So I'm really excited to introduce it to people.
I love that, and thank you for doing that. And also, I just wanted to mention that my book has activities in the back for children, from everything from planting a tree to doing upcycled art with just whatever you have laying around. And also in the next edition that's coming out, we have one that's called Rock the World, where it encourages kids with their parents, with their class, with their teachers to paint rocks with positive messages and leave them around town. Paint one that says, be a little bolder, or way to be awesome, or plant a tree and leave it at the bus stop or in a windowsill or in somebody's porch, just spreading that word and getting people to connect in real life, not just on computers, but, getting out there and getting people to interact and have these conversations, just start the dialogue.
Well,
these would be called a positive pet rock. Love it.
Well, graffiti was in the old days really looked down upon. Nowadays, it's really an art form, and it is a lot of positive messages.
My kids do this. We pick up river stones from anytime we visit somewhere with river stones, we'll collect a few and take them home and wash them and paint them and put positive messages on them and just leave them out for a stranger to find. And it may never come back to you, and you may never know whose day you brightened, but somebody saw it and probably carried it forward.
They have these book depositories now. I don't know if you've seen them, where it's just a random.
Little libraries.
What are they called?
The little libraries.
Yeah. You just pick up a book for free, deposit a book, and it's called sharing. I mean, it's really a novel concept today, and that's part of being a fantastic person, is someone who's kind, who wants to share, who believes in karma, who wants to give, instead of just thinking of yourself and your little bubble.
Books that they think would make a difference in the world, and it's great to clean out your bookshelf, but do it maybe do it with some intention. And what do you want the world to know? This is your speaking platform.
Agreed.
So, yeah. The truth out there.
Are you familiar with, well, they sell it as a tea, and I just want to change directions here from the books a little bit, but I'm curious what your take is. Are you familiar with rooibos? It's branded as a tea, but it's actually a legume grown in South Africa.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Are you familiar with it?
No, that's the one that I stand in front of and try to figure out how to pronounce it every time.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to say it either. Yeah, I'm not sure how to say it either. Yeah, it's got that funky spelling.
Yeah. Yes. I'm familiar with it. I don't know much about it, but I have seen it. Possibly tried it.
Okay. Well, you want to also incorporate it into what you're doing, and here's my experience of what I found about this just absolutely amazing legume that the world really doesn't have a clue about, and that it puts plant nutrients back into the soil, and it completely hydrates the body. And this has been utilized in Boston to help win World Series, where all of the players were utilized this energy drink, coined it as an energy drink, a hydration formula, and the athletes had remarkable recovery time. But on the plant side of things, what I like about it is that it restores plant nutrients back into the soil that are stripped from the soils. And for a bizarre reason, this little plant that only grows, like I said, in South Africa, and for like 700 years, it was referred to as the water plant. Africans were running across the desert, and look at them, they're winning marathons in exceptional time. These guys from Kenya, I think it's like 20 minutes, they're 26 miles. They haven't even got the marathon going. They're crossing the line. It doesn't even make sense. But I'm being facetious, of course, 26 minutes, yeah. But they're doing these incredible speeds across the desert for centuries, and they would just chew on this thing, and it would help, hydrate the body. But I look at it from the agriculture point of view, that this is a wonderful thing, also, that, like I say, put plant nutrients back into the soil and helps fixtures, perennials. So, if you can work around it and get some studies, with what you're doing, I'm curious, because it might be on the third book that you write, with maybe a little bit longer title, because I don't think the first one was quite long enough. And then try, make it a spelling bee so that they know how to spell rooibos, because I don't know how to spell it either.
Or pronouncing it. Yeah, you said it was a legume. I know that most leguminous plants are nitrogen fixers. You're saying it's different, it's more than that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like when you run a car and the radiator's half, empty or half full, depending on how you look at your radiator. And the car's just not performing right. Well, the same with our bodies. If we're not properly hydrated, if we don't have the right mineral-based nutrients that are feeding our telomeres, well, then these are the aging processes where our hairs turn gray, our skins start to wrinkle. But rooibos, corrects that. And I think of Forrest Gump and all of the different ways. His partner told him that he could have shrimp. Shrimp kebab. I've had rooibos in probably about 20, 30 different ways, and man, it just makes you feel amazing to be that hydrated. Yeah.
That again. That sounds awesome.
Well, see,
It truly is. It's the unknown nature's secret ingredient that came out of Africa, and well, I can't say obvious reasons, but there's some reasons. It was banned in the United States for like 60, 70 years almost. There's a company out of, I didn't.
Good.
Yeah, then it's good, right? So then there's a company out of Southern California somewhere, and they've been profit labeling for like Starbucks and different grocer markets out there, Whole Foods and that. And when I came across it, for me, what I do, I just sit and start copying, pulling frequencies from different plants and herbs and medicines. And when I came across this one and pulled the frequency, it was almost a master agriculture frequency. And so I started utilizing it in our frequency fertilizer program, and helping, the plants that are not rooibos are now starting to put plant nutrient back into the soil that way, using a synthetic frequency equivalent of the plant.
how do you spell that?
I'm just curious,
Thunder, how do you spell rooibos?
ROOBIUS.
I think it's ROOIBOS.
All right.
And it trips me up on the pronunciation is because that I comes before the B.
So,
Well, I remember the teacher asked me to spell chair, and I said, "Uh-oh, use it in a sentence." And she said, "You're about to take one." And I was like, "Yeah, CHARE." Sit down. Okay, well, that's the end of my spelling bee career.
Wow. Okay, so that'd be interesting to grow it next to a watermelon, or charge the watermelon with that frequency and see if it's bigger and juicier.
Now you're on point. Exactly. She's awesome. She's fantastic. Listen to her. She got it. And these are the messages that we're trying to teach other future generations. 100 years from now, when the Be Fantastic movement is synonymous with how are you doing today? Fantastic. These will be the lessons that will be taught. And so you get down in history for helping the world.
now,
Awesome, guys.
Thanks. Yeah,
Thunder,
thanks.
did you tell Cheryl about the free EMF reducer at all?
Let's get one sent out to her. I'm sure your take is on, if you can concur with my findings. The bumblebees having a tough time right now in the populations here, and my astute, accurate, just watching them and start holding phones toward them and watching reactions to them. They're going the opposite way of their hive. Well, they can't find their way home. And we know that bees, they have this amazing vision. Well, their equilibrium, I believe, is distorted with the many cell towers that we rely on today for our communications. So what better way, when Monty came up with the Be Fantastic logo, and the concept says, let's get this on cell phones. Well, the two are hand in hand. It's doing two things at the same time. It's making a billboard and an awareness that I guess every time you look down at it, you're just going to put a smile on your face and feel good. Two, you are protecting your environment around you. Every time that you handle your cellular device. And I guess and then the most important is the third reason. It's allowing the bee to see his way home. So with 5.6 billion cell phones in the world, it is absolutely my dream and goal that they all have a B logo and an EMF protector on the wallpaper, broadcasting this. I know you have you have a very special EMF protector because you had first generation back when I made them applied stickers. We no longer do that anymore. I'm now strictly just the wallpaper aspect image. But you have it on your cell phone. You have a lithium dot hologram that's on your phone doing the same thing.
So Cheryl, let me explain to you as well as the listening audience how to get one of these free EMF B reducers. Basically, you join the channel at Uplifting Interviews with Total Strangers on YouTube. And if you join right now, you'll be number 649. Then you send an email to befantasticemf@gmail.com. That's BEE. No, I'm sorry, it's just BE. befantasticemf@gmail.com. And put in the body of the mail your number, 649, or whatever number someone's joining at. And then put in what phone number you want the reducer to be sent to. And that's all you have to do.
All right.
And so
That's
you want
628. There we go.
648? You just
628.
No. Hit it again. Hit the button again. It should be 648 or 649.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets the number wrong.
I just got the image should arrive here shortly too. By the way.
Got it. I got it.
Does that make you smile?
Yeah, thanks.
Now say it.
Say
fantastic.
it makes you feel good when you say it. And it makes other people feel good. So basically, Cheryl, here's the thing. When you make someone smile today, you've done a good job. You've made the world a better place. If you can make 10 people smile today, you've done great. And if you can make more than that, you've done fantastic. So we need more people smiling. We need more people being fantastic, kind, considerate, giving, caring, and understanding, And that's the whole movement.
Yeah.
And it's
I love it.
It's fun. And when you're fantastic, Cheryl, every time you say the word fantastic, it forces you to smile, which releases endorphins, dopamine, and serotonin, which not only make you happy, but it also reduces the stress in your life. So with less stress in your life, you're going to live longer. So every time you say the word fantastic, you're going to feel great. You're going to live longer as well as the person you said it to. Because whenever you hear the word fantastic, it makes you smile. It's amazing. It's a very magical word.
It totally does.
And it means unimaginably good and beautiful. That's the definition.
I think I'm going to try to work it. I'm going to work the word into my next, the title of my next children's book. It'll be the fantastic.
It's such a magical word, Cheryl.
I'll work on that.
It's a magical word. It is. Yeah. It's so amazing, and it's underused. And to date, out of the 649 people that have joined, only 40 of them have ever met someone in their life that says they're fantastic. Now, you think people are fantastic, like your kids and your spouse. I'm talking about people who say they're fantastic when asked how they are. And by the way, again, if you're listening to this show for the first time, there is a history of the question, "How are you?" Now, it's a lame rhetorical question today, but it does have its root in history. And for those of you who don't know where it came from, and Cheryl, I'm sure you don't, right? Cheryl?
Hello?
Do you know where the question, "How are you?" came from?
I don't.
It came from the days of the Black Plague. You actually walked up to people and said, "How are you?" Because you certainly didn't want to shake their hand if they had the plague, or So it did have a history in caring, but today it's not a caring question. It's a hello, because no one listens to the answer and no one really cares how a total stranger is.
So the answer is usually fine, which means almost even less.
Actually, you're funny you should say fine. I haven't heard that in about 600 no, in about 400 people. The 99% of people say good, which is even poor English.
Yeah.
The rest say I'm okay, I'm well, I'm fine, I'm very well, I'm all right, I can't complain, and various things from that. But when you start saying you're fantastic, in the words of René Descartes, the French philosopher, I think, therefore I am. After about the 10th time saying it, your subconscious will believe you're fantastic, and it's all what you believe anyway.
Right.
It's all what you put in your head. You could be good or you could be fantastic, which is extraordinarily good. All right?
Yeah, howdy. This happened yesterday. The subject happened. I was at the gas station, and the lady, I said, "How you doing today?" And she said, "I'm good." I go, "You want to be fantastic, don't you?" And she looked at me and smiled. I go, "Just say it." "I'm fantastic." I go, "There you are. You're awesome." I left the store. I went out. I pumped my gas. You know what I forgot? I forgot to get my receipt. I go back in, and I'm standing in line. I'm behind a guy. I asked the gentleman, "How you doing?" He said, "I'm doing good." He said, "How about you?" She goes, she looked at me, she started laughing. She goes, "I'm fantastic." I walked back up and I go, "Great answer, by the way. I forgot my receipt. Hey, and thanks. Pass it on. It just feels good, doesn't it?" She goes, "It does."
And the more emotion you put behind it, the more you get a big shock to your system, and the more it's impressive to the other person. I met these three guys, and I told them about being fantastic. One of the guys was great, really optimistic guy. He's always been great. His whole life he's been great. And he said he was always looking for a better word than great. When I introduced him to being fantastic, his head exploded, and we went to a bar, and he went up to all the girls and said, "How are you?" And they go, "I'm good." He goes, "How would you like to be fantastic?" And he went through the whole bar trying to tell people that they should be fantastic. He was over the moon with it. So people do get it pretty quick. Now, Cheryl, I got to share this story and apologize for everyone who's heard the story before, but it was an 89-year-old woman who outlived 2 husbands. She got in my car, and I asked her how she was. She said good. And then I told her about being fantastic, and I asked her, like I ask everybody, have you ever met anyone that says they're fantastic? She said, my second late husband, whenever asked how he was, he'd always say he's fantastic. And when I heard that, I just smiled. I loved it. And I asked her, how did it make you feel? She said, it made me feel wonderful, as it did all my friends, because he said it all the time, and it was just wonderful. And I said, okay, when you got in the car, you said you were good. Knowing how it made you feel by hearing it, why don't you say it to other people? She goes, you know what? I never thought of it, but I tell you what, I'm going to be fantastic the rest of my life. And that's one of my interviews on uplifting interviews. And when I hear those stories and I hear how it affects people being fantastic or seeing the results of being fantastic, it warms my heart, and I guess it's karma coming back at me.
Absolutely.
In Hollywood showbiz, the name that jumps out the most that used the word to me that I recall was Regis Philbin. He loved the word fantastic.
Well, he was fantastic. He is fantastic.
He was. Chilly guy. Epic in every way.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was a big fantastic person. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Fantastic.
When he was governor. Fantastic. It was fantastic. It's an underused word, and it's obviously an underused emotion, but it really makes people feel good. And I've yet to see someone not smile.
Arnold used that word quite a bit, didn't he?
Arnold, yeah.
Yeah. Arnold did use that word quite a bit, too, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Well, there's only, again...
He just couldn't say...
I've interviewed...
It was usually preceded by the mispronunciation of the great state of California.
Yeah. Thunder, Cheryl, I've interviewed 2,000 people, and of the 2,000, only 40 of them have ever met someone who's fantastic. That is unacceptable.
Yeah. Really?
Now, you think people
Yeah.
are fantastic, like your spouse
Amazing.
and your kids, but people that say they're fantastic is a breed all of their own, and they truly are an over-the-top, very, very positive person. Now, Cheryl, there's one detriment to being fantastic, in that when you tell people that, it will create engagement. They are going to want to talk to you because they've never heard of anyone being
They wanna be
fantastic,
fantastic.
and they want to know more about it. And it's like there is no engagement today. Everyone's on their cell phone. They're in their little cars, not cutting off everyone in traffic, just caring about their little lives, without sharing or being kind or opening doors and letting people in traffic. It's ridiculous. So it's a movement.
Don't forget to look up, everyone.
What's that? Look up.
Don't forget to look up.
Well, you know, it's against the law to walk on your cell phone in Germany. To walk while using your cell phone. And ride a bike and, of course, drive. Because people are getting killed. That little device is as fantastic as it is. It's got all the answers in the world. As well as, like, Thunder has all the answers. But it's quicker than Thunder, I think.
Thunder, you want to chime in on that one?
There's more cell phones in the world than any product ever sold by man today. There are more problems that are emitting from cell phones than any problem we can imagine. So what a fantastic way of solving two birds, two bees, two people, and two problems at the same time, and making it a fantastic world. We can get back to being fantastic.
Oh, by the way, Thunder, there is a fault to what you just said.
It's not political.
I just found a product that was sold over $6.2 billion.
What is that? Viagra?
No, the McDonald's cheeseburger.
Okay, you're right. McDonald's cheeseburger, I think, is just slightly ahead of the cell phone.
Remember they used to put hundreds of millions, then they went to billions.
They got repeat customers, yeah.
But still, it's a product.
They got a 40-year head start.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
But it's not quite as healthy.
I'm sure cell phones are going to overtake McDonald's.
It's a possibility. It's amazing how many there are, that's for sure. Let's see here. We've got, we still have 7 minutes. We got 7 minutes. So, Cheryl.
Oh, hey, I just wanted to mention something.
Sure.
Can I say something about, we were talking about rubus, and how it's good for, plants, growing next to plants, maybe.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention one, very important thing is mulch, because the mulch, when it breaks down, creates fungus underneath it. If you ever go out into the woods and you kick over some log or dead leaves, you see the white stuff underneath, right? So the fungus is like the internet of the plant world, and it takes nutrients. It can take nutrients from one side of the forest to the other side, and the trees and the plants communicate with each other through mycelia. And so if there's like heavy nutrient dense, over here on one side, and there's a lack, deficit on the other side, it can send a signal to bring it over there to that, that side, to wherever plant needs it. So just want to say, always be mulching. Everyone should always be mulching.
So Mother Nature,
Anyway,
Mother Nature has some good plans out there, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's a very good point. You used the word signal. And here's what I have learned to understand about the plant world. Two things. One, photosynthesis only occurs before the sun hits the horizon. And we are in infrared light that is shining. That triggers photosynthesis. Most people think, well, the sun's all day long. The plant is, it's not producing photosynthesis happens only before the sun arrives in early dawn. And secondly, plants are triggered by the energies that are around that plant. The best study that was done at here's what we learned. We were told classical music versus rock and roll. If you haven't heard about this study, boy, were these faculty members all excited to prove that, yes, classical music will make the plant grow better. Well, that's not exactly what we learned from the study. What we learned from the study is that the professors liked classical music better than they did rock and roll. Because in my house, where I'm playing Eddie Van Halen, my plants are jumping as I am. And if someone drops a Beethoven album on the CD, I start breaking out in rashes and scratches, not even feeling that great. My plant is going to feel the energy that I'm feeling because I'm its primary. To the plant kingdom, I'm his God. I'm giving him water. I'm giving him love. I'm giving him shelter. I'm giving him its necessities to life. And he feels, and the plant feels that vibration off of me. So when you said signal, boy, did you hit it right on the nose.
Yeah.
But even
I
more,
would like to see how they respond to interstellar transmissions, because they play in the sacred healing frequencies and harmonies. So I wonder what different reaction they might have to that specific music.
But listen to this. Music helps water.
Yeah.
They've tested water with acid rock versus classical, and it changes the structure of the water. Yeah. Thunder, you've seen that study, right?
Right.
Thunder?
That's Dr. Emoto's study out of Japan.
Organite changes it too.
Organite changes it, or hologram free, anything. No, water has a memory stick. Think of there's a fine documentary out there called The Memory of Water. It was put out in 2015. He's a former Nobel Prize winner for the discovery of HIV virus. His name is Luc. He lives in Paris, France. And the guy, it was inspired by the same gentleman that inspired me to go into the DigiMed arena. And this guy he's kind of doing a Barney Rubble, a Fred Flintstone version of what I do. I'm kind of a little more on the Jetson side, but he's as close to sending signals via through the internet to heal people as anyone that I have came across on the planet. And it is his goal someday. I'm not here to ruin anybody's hopes and dreams or anything like that, but that's not my intention, obviously. But his goal is to, someday have an AIDS patient walk up to him and say, I got an email from you, and the sonic song that was played when I held it up next to water has put me from AIDS to a HIV negative status. I'm proud to say I've done that feat twice already. And like I said, he's as close to anyone I have ever seen out there. The documentary, again, is the memory of water. And it's putting sound signatures into water and then recording that through some headphones into a track. You go through he's right on page.
And it is it's the most valuable resource on the planet, water. It's even more expensive than gasoline
and if
today.
anybody wants to do an experiment at home, if you can get your hands on a piece of organite, you can put it above a glass of water like, you know, on a card or something, and put it in your freezer, and, you know, do a control test, and then do one with the orgonite, and you can see the difference. It makes this incredible